Thanks God, it's Saturday. It's another weekend. Kumusta kayo po? Kumusta tayo? Ang mga kaibigan, kababayan at kapatid, especially ang mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah. And of course, I also want to greet a pleasant good morning, good Saturday sa ating mga kababayan din po, mga overseas Filipino workers sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo. And wag natin kalimutan din i-greet sa mga kapatid, kababayan at kaibigan natin ang mga Filipinos dyan mismo sa bayan natin ang Pilipinas. Kumusta tayo? Magandang sabihin natin kung sa malayo. We greeted, this is how we greet in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam. Hope everything is running smoothly dahil it's another weekend po. Last week, we experienced a lot of things ang nangyari sa Pilipinas. And so excited. Kung minsan marami din nakakalit dahil ano nangyari during this week. This week po, sana lang po next week it will be a smoother week para sa akin, more progressive week para sa atin po. And so that ang Pilipinas, mag-move on na tayo po. Mag-move on na tayo. But anyway, alright, nandito na naman ang programa nating Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, and mayroon tayong mga balita, which I strongly believe that kayo, mga followers ko po dito sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, you deserve, no? Hindi naman siguro lahat ng mga balita I'm going to share with you what is happening sa Pilipinas. Yun lang po, mga importante, mga hot issues lang po. Dahil kung lahat-lahat na yun po, mahirap na kasi mahaba ang programa natin. We are only limiting our blogging every day po to less than 1 hour. Kung pwede 1 hour or less than 1 hour lang. But anyway, I will give you mga latest updates natin. Ano bang mga latest updates natin tungkol sa what is happening sa Pilipinas? Now, what is happening in the Philippines now is, yes, of course, we already saw, we heard, it was officially announced that we have a new leadership sa Senado, and that is under the leadership of Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian, of which he was installed officially, constitutionally, when Senator Joel Villanueva this week, attended the special session called by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. No? So, based on his appearance in the special session sa Senado po, so it was confirmed na ang fight or leadership crisis between former Senator or former Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano and ito ngayon, ang bagong Senate President, si Sherwin Gatchalian came to an end. So, yun po. So, maganda ang transition. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano accepted or conceded his defeat against, sabihin natin, kay Sherwin Gatchalian. And this, at long last, naka-move on na po ang sabihin natin hearing dyan po sa Senado. But of course, mayroon pa din mga kaso against itong mga senators. A lot of people in Malaysia, in Sabah, are asking whether matuloy ba yun po ang case against Senator Joel Villanueva, against Senator Chis Escudero. Will it push through as earlier announced by no less than our ombudsman, si Ombudsman Jesus Crispin Remulla, that ready na daw po 2 weeks ago. He was saying na ready and on the final stage on the preparation of cases against Chis Escudero, and most likely ang case to be filed against Joel Villanueva. But things change around, change. They already joined the majority bloc. Now the question is, karamihan ng mga Filipinos are asking whether this announced cases, planned cases against these two senators, Senator Joel Villanueva and Senator Chis Escudero, will push through. And at the same time, Narinig natin a lot of stories that most likely si Senator Rodante Marcoleta is very vocal against itong corruption dyan po sa Pilipinas. He might be facing a plunder case po to be filed dyan po sa Sandigan Bayan. Sandigan Bayan is a court for those involved or may kaso po sa gobyerno or employed in the government or elected government officials. No? They don't go direct to the normal court or ordinary court po, but they have to pass to dyan po sa Sandigan Bayan. So, ano nangyari po? What will happen po? Tuloy ba itong case against Marcoleta? And we heard a lot of things about, since late this week, that most likely there will be an arrest warrant to be issued against Rodante Marcoleta because of the because of a plunder case. So, tuloy ba or hindi? So, I'm going to share with you itong mga issues ngayon about Marcoleta. I have prepared a video clip here po about Marcoleta wherein he was saying that he's more than ready. He's more than ready to face the authorities in the event he will be issued with arrest warrant or warrant of arrest. Ready na ready daw siya po. He's not going to hide, but he's going to face because he firmly believe, strongly believe that this plunder case accused sa kanya po, these are all invention. Invented lang ito po because the reason behind, he was saying, he claimed that because of his aggressive move against corrupt activities carried out by the government officials natin. Government officials natin. Nandito po ang report. I'm going to share with you po the report wherein the mainstream media, one of the mainstream media, prepared this report about Marcoleta. About Marcoleta po. In the meantime, let me share with you first itong report. And after that po, I'm going to share with you ang statement made by Marcoleta po during a talk show. During a talk show po, no? Yesterday ba yun? Or the other day? Anyway, nandito, let's watch and listen to this report muna po, no? Let's watch and listen to this report. Okay? Nandito po.
Arestuhin po nila ako. Muli po akong nagsasabi na ako'y sasama sa kanila ng buong pagpapasa ko.
Matapang na harapin ni Senator Rodante Marcoleta ang mga gawa-gawang kaso na isinampalaban sa kanya. Sa harap yan ang bantang pag-aresto sa senador, kasunod ng impormasyon na naglabas na ng warrant of arrest ang korte. Sa programang Saganang Mamamayan, sinabi ni Senator Marcoleta na malinaw na bahagi lang ito ng panggigipit sa kanya.
Ito po lahat na maaari pong ako'y arestuhin sa araw na ito o kung hindi man ngayon sa mga susunod na araw sa kadahilanan po na kailangan po nila na magkaroon po ng katiyakan na yun pong pag-iimbestiga, yung pagsisiyasat doon sa napakalaking nakawan na nangyari sa kasaysayan ng ating bansa ay tuluyan ng malimutan. Ito lamang ang paraan nila para wala na pong magtatangka na masugid na gagawa ng kanyang tungkulin na tukuyin saan man tayo makarating. Tukuyin ang lahat ng mga taong nasa likod ng napakalaking nakawan na ito sapagkat sila po ay nakagawa hindi lamang ng kataksilan sa bansa kung hindi napakalaking kasalanan po sa inyo. Lahat po ng mga taong binoto ninyo na nasa likod po ng pagnanakaw na ito, sila po ay pinagtiwalaan ninyo. Ngunit sa halip po ng pagtitiwalang yon, ay ninakawan po kayo. Harap-harapan po, kagaya ng sinasabi namin. Yan po ang kanilang gustong iwasan ngayon. Yung makilala sila ng lubusan at tuluyan. Kaya lahat po ay gagawin nila. Huwag po kayong mawawala ng loob. Alam ko po na ito'y pansamantala lang. Alam ko pong hindi magpapabaya ang Panginoon Diyos.
Giit pa ni Marcoleta, pilit na pilit ang kasong plunder at indirect bribery na isinampa sa kanya.
Po yung mga kasama kong senado na dati namin kasama sa grupo namin, meron silang plunder na nauna na.
Opo.
Pero dahil sa pagsanib sa kanila, nawala na po siguro. Baka sila po ay hindi na asuntuin. Mauuna pa po akong aarestuhin. Doon sa mga kasama namin dati na nangako na magiging intact kami. Walang hiwalayan, walang maghuhudas.
Sabi ni
Pero napansin na ninyo kung sino po yung naghudas.
Wala naman daw siyang ninakaw na pera ng taong bayan. Hindi gaya ng mga dawit sa flood control scandal.
Pero ako, invento lang. Walang kaugnayan po sa public funds. Wala po akong ninakaw. Ang tanging kasalanan ko lang po sa kanila. Sa kanila, hindi sa taong bayan. Ay yung pilitin ko po na ituloy ang pagdinig yan sa flood control projects, anomaly na yan.
papanagot. Kasi
At papanagot, pati silang lahat. Oo.
papanagot ang nasa likod talaga.
Nasa sa kanila po yun. Nasa kanila na po yun. Kung talagang aarestuhin po nila ako, muli po ako nagsasabi na ako'y sasama sa kanila. Liwanag sa akin yan na alam ng taong bayan na wala po akong kasalanan kung hindi yung maglingkod sa inyo ng buong katapatan. Ano man po yung gagawin nila. Ako po ay naniniwala na meron po tayong isang Diyos na mapagmahal.
Maaari din daw na may kinalaman sa nalalapit na impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte ang planong pag-aresto at pagkulong kay Marcoleta. Wala naman daw siyang pinapanigan at magiging patas sa paghatol base sa mga ebidensya at sa itinatakda ng batas. Mar Gabriel, para sa Mata ng Agila. Matatag, matapang, matapat.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin ang report dyan po sa social media o sa mainstream media natin sa Pilipinas kahapon po, no? So tuloy ba yun na mag-release na ang arrest warrant o warrant of arrest kay Rodante Marcoleta tungkol sa plunder case? Ano ba itong plunder case po? Ang plunder case sa kanya po, as what I was made to understand, sa mga official announcement made by the mainstream media dyan po sa Pilipinas, that it has something to do with the contribution that he accepted when he ran or before the campaign period of when he ran as a senator last 2025 po, no? For he failed to include it sa expenses niya po during the election. So may valido ba yan? Is got basis on this plunder case? Or if this is another, as what he claimed, si Senator Rodante Marcoleta, it's another invention because he is very vocal when it comes to the corruption activities carried out or participated by, sabihin natin, ang elected officials natin dyan po sa Pilipinas, especially involved ang mga top government officials, top government officials natin, and several politicians, be it senators, congressmen, and of course, ang private sectors, particularly ang mga sabihin natin contractors. So, I will share with you another video clip, and this time around, again, by Attorney Regal Oliva, where she explained ano talaga itong kaso ni Senator Rodante Marcoleta, Marcoleta that he will be facing. Let's watch and listen to this explanation or statement made by Attorney Regal Oliva po, no? Regal Oliva. Nandito po, let's watch and listen to this. Hold on po. Hold on. Alright, nandito. Let's watch and listen to this. Alright.
Gotten wealth. A complaint for plunder, indirect bribery, and violation of PD 46 has now been recommended against Senator-elect Rodante Marcoleta. The allegation that he supposedly received 75 million pesos from 3 individuals: Mike Defensor for 30 million pesos, Joseph Espiritu 25 million pesos, Aristotle Viray 20 million pesos, total 75 million pesos. But here is where things become legally interesting. These are not anonymous witnesses. These are not secret informants. These are the very same individuals who have publicly stated in various media interviews that the money they gave were campaign contributions. Again, campaign contributions, not government funds, not pork barrel, not flood control money, not confidential funds, not money taken from the treasury. Campaign contributions. So naturally, the legal question becomes, how does a campaign contribution suddenly become plunder? Because under Republic Act 7080, plunder punishes the accumulation of ill-gotten wealth by a public officer. The phrase is important. Ill-gotten wealth. Not merely wealth, not merely contributions, not merely donations. Ill-gotten wealth. And that distinction matters. If the allegation is that the contributions were improperly reported, election laws provide remedies. If the allegation is non-disclosure, election laws provide remedies. If the allegation is a reporting violation, election laws provide remedies. But plunder, that is a very different animal. And perhaps the bigger question is this: why now? Because timing may not be evidence, but timing can reveal motive. Marcoleta is about to assume office as the chair of the subcommittee for the flood control investigation in the Blue Ribbon Committee in the Senate. He is expected to be one of the most aggressive voices in this Senate investigation. He is expected to scrutinize government spending, procurement controversies, confidential funds, and other issues that many powerful people would rather leave untouched. And suddenly, before he can even fully settle into his Senate seat, the heaviest charge in our criminal justice system is placed on the table. Coincidence? Perhaps. But Filipinos are not prohibited from asking questions. Because in law, a complaint is not a conviction. An accusation is not proof. And a headline is not evidence. If this is plunder, prove it. If this is bribery, prove it. But if campaign contributions can now be transformed into plunder through legal gymnastics, then every political candidate in this country should start paying very close attention, because today it is Rodante Marcoleta. Tomorrow it could be you, me, or anyone.
Alright, yan, narinig natin si Attorney Regal Oliva, no? Explaining, pwede ba yon ang plunder case? Pwede ba yon? Sabi niya, pwede ba yon yung contribution given to Senator Rodante Marcoleta for his intention to run as senator last 2025 midterm election can be considered as a plunder case. So, sa palagay niya po, it is very impossible to be a plunder case po, no? A plunder case. So, yon ang issue ngayon dyan po kay Rodante Marcoleta. And according to Rodante Marcoleta, na he's more than willing to face ang arrest warrant o warrant of arrest sa kanya po in the event he will be issued one. In the event he will be issued one. So, yan po. So, this week, we experience also a lot of things po, as what I said, ang legality of the leadership of Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian. Nandoon na po ang pre-trial. And yun po, mayroon pa rin po, although si Senate President or former Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, siya mismo po conceded already that mayroon na Magic 13 ang grupo ni Gatchalian, so he considered defeat, or he said he will be gracefully stepping down, of which he did po, no? But mayroon pa rin po mga issues kasi mayroon pa din mga statement made by senators, among them po regarding itong issue ng leadership. So let me share with you ang video clip ni Alan Peter Cayetano, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, regarding ang sentimiento niya po, or can we say it, dissatisfaction niya regarding ang mga statement made by Senator Erwin Tulfo, as well as ang kapatid niya po, si Senator Raffy Tulfo po, no? So may banat si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano sa Tulfo brothers, sa mga Tulfo brothers. Let me share with you itong video clip, and kayo nang bahala po, no? Kayo nang bahala to make your own opinion. Nandito po, let's watch and listen to...
Ang witness itetest mo.
Hold on.
Sabi ni Rafi,
Alright.
o wala.
Alright, nandito po. Let's watch and listen to the statement made by Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Alright, nandito.
Ang witness itetest mo. Sabi ni Rafi Tulfo, hindi daw sila Malacanang. In other words, hindi sila tuta. Okay. Ba't doon mo makikita yung graduated and experience? Bakit? Kasi si Senator Tito Soto and Senator Rafi Tulfo, at least sila tuta ng Malacanang. Pero si Erwin Tulfo, tuta lang ni Lacson. Hindi siya tuta ng Malacanang. Diba? Kasi nga may hawak sa kanya si Senator Lacson na alam sa kanya. Yung sinabi niya na may tatlong kumausap na wag pumirma. Unang-una, yung dalawa kakampi na nila. Pangalawa, yung kakampi lang isa, nagsabi kay nakwento din sa akin yun. Sinabi kay Erwin, kami ang ginaganito ngayon. Ito ang hawak sa'yo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Isang araw, ikaw gaganon. Kaya nung una, hindi rin pumirma si Erwin. So yun ang mahirap sa Senado. 24 lang kami. Araw-araw kami nagkwekwentuhan. Minsan nagiinuman pa. Kaya kung magkwento kayo, ayusin nyo kwento nyo kasi alam ko rin yung kwento eh. Di ba? Magkwento kayo, bitin pa. Oh, yung totoo. Oh. Erwin Tulfo, isa-isay natin hawak sa'yo. Gusto mo? Oh, yung kontraktor na balik-balik sa office mo, yung kontraktor sa party dito, marami pang iba. Doon muna tayo. Oh, marami pang iba. Di ba? Okay. So sabi nung iba, kung sasabihin mong tuta, ano si Senator Lacson? Hindi na po tuta si Senator Lacson, aso na po siya. Matagal na po matagal na eh. Okay. At ano ang ibig ko sabihin sa aso? Anong klase? Iba-iba kasing klase ng aso. Yung kayo po, pagka may utos sa inyo, kayo ay nag-asikaso. Meaning you take care of it. Meron din pong aso-kaso. Ano yung aso-kaso? Tatahol yung aso, kakasuhan. So kung makikita nyo po makikita nyo, ang usual procedure, may affidavit o wala, ang witness itetest mo, huwag mong papabasahin ng affidavit. Kasi baka hindi siya gumawa ng affidavit. Si Senator Lacson binaliktad niya. Kaya basahin mo lang yung affidavit. Hindi, sandali, payagan mo muna ang DOJ, kunin yung witness, gagawin yung affidavit. Pagbalik, basahin mo yung affidavit. Hindi po yun ang sistema.
Alright, yun, narinig natin ang statement made by former Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, ang banat niya po sa mga Tulfo, no? If you look at the social media na po, medyo mainit ang mga posting kay dalawang Tulfo po, no? Dalawang Tulfo. They also, their names were also mentioned dyan po sa, especially si Senator Erwin Tulfo, na natanggap din siya po ng maleta-maleta po, no? Galing sa, nag-deliver daw ang mga 18 brave soldiers po, ex-Marines, and plus additional 4 the other day, no? The other day, they mentioned during the media briefing carried out by former Congressman Mike Defensor. Mike Defensor po. So, yun ang banat ni Cayetano. Let's watch also ang komentaryo, statement made by very popular and well-respected, sabihin natin commentator, TV program, programmer, anchorman, both of them, si Ted Filon at saka si DJ Chacha, DJ Chacha. Let's watch and listen to this po. Alright, nandito. Let's watch and listen ang komento nila. Hold on, nandito po. Alright. Hold on.
Si Marcos Jr. Kahapon, kasama niya yung German, yung joint press conference. Na kasama yung German President, si Frank-Walter Steinmeier. Sa Malacanang, o ano sinasabi ni Marcos Jr.? Sabi niya, yung daw pong corruption is worst sin. Sabi niya, as serious as it can get, every government, not every government, every entity, every business, etc., corruption daw po, mga kapatid, ang dapat nating sugpuin. Oo nga, Junior.
Litong-lito na rin kasi ako sa kanila.
Oo nga.
Oh.
Kaya si Saldi.
Oh. Bakit? Di ba okay yun? Nagsalita na siya eh. Gusto niyo pa ng aksyon? Okay na yun. Okay naman eh.
Hindi ba?
Tsaka,
Asa na si Saldi?
eh, hindi nga mapapauli si
Nag-announce
Sandy.
kanino ba ginoong Pangulo
Oo.
na, magandang balita, hawak na ng check. Asan na? Asan na? Parang binarito na naman kami. Dali.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin si Ted Filon and DJ Chacha. So yun po, kayo na bahala. For you to think kung may mga points ba, ang mga opinion, statement made by Ted Filon and DJ Chacha. Okay, kahapon or this week po, marami nangyari sa atin na dyan po sa Senado. And one of the activities po, yun na nga, ang sabihin natin, ang pre-trial conference sa impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte po. Ano po itong pre-trial conference po? This is the time wherein they will divulge ang mga pangalan, mga members ng defense legal team as well as ang mga miyembro ng respondents legal team, no? Lumabas na po ang mga pangalan nila. And of course, they have to submit ang mga ebidensya nila po, no? Against itong ang prosecutors will reveal or submit ang mga ebidensya nila po and other documents, as well as ang respondents will also submit the same thing po, no? Hindi pa natapos, it will continue next week. And let's see po, because ang impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte will jumpstart na po sa July 6. Sa July 6 po. And marami pa tayong mga problema dyan that the senator judges, they have to look into po. Kagaya yon na sino talaga magiging presiding officer, presiding officer during the impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte. And of course, yon two-third or magic 16 po to convict si Inday Sara Duterte at the end of the trial. So, I have a video clip dito po, no? and I am quoting itong video clip kay Attorney Raymond Batu. Raymond Batu po, and he was talking about itong sabihin natin ang issue ng two-third vote or 16 votes to convict si Inday Sara Duterte, as well as he also touched on the issue of itong quorum, itong quorum po, and of course he mentioned something about ang pre-trial conference kahapon ba yon o the other day? Kahapon po, no? Nandito, let me share with you itong video clip po kay Attorney Raymond Batu. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this. Hold on muna tayo po. Okay, nandito po. Ang interview sa kanya by SMNI po. And nandito.
Yan ang problem, no? I hope they could make a resolution before the proper impeachment trial. So kung ako, if possible, dapat unsolicited advice on the part of nila Cayetano is that they should file an urgent manifestation or motion to at least resolve this issue before the coming of this impeachment trial para magkaroon na ng guidance, no? And probably establish the rules, no? Kasi kung hindi po magawa yan, and what if the Supreme Court says I need time para for oral arguments, what will happen to the impeachment proceedings? So, defer ba siya? Ma-archive for the meantime or masususpend para to give way to the final interpretation of the Supreme Court on this matter. Dapat po kasi tanong, in fact, meron nga sinabi si Congressman Luis Romar na dapat maganda itong itanong sa Supreme Court kung ano ba talaga ang constitutional threshold, ano ba talaga ang constitutional denominator. Members of the Senate, 24 po ba talaga? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng isang senator na na-detain or nagtatago or sinasabi nilang fugitive, ima-minus po talaga yan sila sa denominator. Dapat po maklaro po talaga yan kasi two sides, no, enforcing, no, saying na hindi. Because dapat fix talaga ang sinabi ng Constitution. Wala namang ibang interpretation. Kahit anong baliktad-baliktarin mo, kahit na itanong mo ang AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, what is 2/3 of all the members of the Senate, ang sagot sa iyo is that kapag ang members of the Senate are 24 and the 2/3 of which is 16. Kasi member pa man ng Senate si Jingo Estrada as well as si Bato de la Rosa.
Opo. Yung din, itong pagkaka-suspend kay Senador Jinggoy Estrada, may payag kasi sa Gatchalian na automatic na pati yung kanyang pagka-senador. Mababakante ba agad yung kanyang pagiging senador? Maliban lang sa yung function lang ba niya as a senator o yung pagiging senador niya? Kumbaga, mawawalan na yung Senator Jinggoy Estrada na lang kasi suspended siya ng 3 months.
No, it would not. No? He is still a member of the Senate, no? Because as we see, as you know, the only way po na matanggal siya as member of the Senate through death, resignation, expulsions, no? Doon po, no? Or a clear-cut statement from the court na he's no longer a member of the Senate, no? Until such time na mangyari yan siya, member pa rin po siya ng Senate, no? So dapat counted pa rin ang kanyang as number man lang para sa constitutional denominator. While it's true that he may not function, he cannot vote, he cannot attend the impeachment proceedings, hindi siya makapag cross-examine or hindi clarificatory question, participate in the proceedings. Nevertheless, yung iba po kasi yung trabaho niya na hindi niya pwedeng gampanan at iba rin po yung number as stated in the Constitution. Kasi sinabi po hahabulin niyo talaga yung numbers ng 24 that all members of the Senate rule. So, and take note that ito pong preventive suspension is never and not a penalty. Ano po ito siya? It is a preventive measures for the purpose of preventing influence of the witnesses or yung tampering of evidence, no? Kasi kung pag ikaw magpapatuloy rin sa trabaho
trabaho mo, despite na pag may kaso ka, it is possible daw baka mag-influence ka ng witness, mag-tamper ka ng evidence kung sakaling you are still functioning as such, no? Therefore, it is just a preventive measure. Kaya nakita mo, 90 days lang, no? And it is not, as I said, a sort of penalty para ma-remove na siya as senator. Totoo po, ma-remove ang kanyang work. At siguro hindi siya makapagtrabaho, hindi siya However, as a senator, as a sitting senator, he is still, no? And he is still part of the counting ng members of all the members of the Senate. He is still a member of the Senate. Opo, meron namang sinabi itong si...
Alright, yun po, no? Ang problema dyan sa impeachment po about ang membership po ni Senator Jinggoy Estrada po. As a senator, is still included dyan po sa 24. But whether because he's suspended now for 90 days, so ibig sabihin po, he cannot vote, he cannot participate sa impeachment trial, as a impeachment trial po. So yon ang issue. So during the interview, he also commented, si Attorney Raymond Batu also commented about ang pre-trial conference yesterday or the other day ba yun? Or yesterday. Nandito po ang comments, statement made by Attorney Raymond Batu. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this. Sandali. And sa pre-trial ito sa pre-trial ng impeachment of Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Let's watch and listen to this.
Pre-trial, ano ba yun? Tama ba? O, pre-trial. Yes, pre-trial conference. Oo, after nang nangyari ng pre-trial, ngaw-ngaw sila ng ngaw-ngaw na para daw hindi siniseryoso. Saglit lang. Hindi ba kayo matutuwa nyo? Halimbawa, kung yun ang inyo pong, yun ang kanilang magiging pananaw doon sa kanilang magiging kalaban na parang hindi siniseryoso. Hindi ba plus points yan sa inyo? Bakit magagalit kayo? At bakit parang naiinis, attorney, anong masasabi mo dyan? Yeah, bakit kayo magreklamo na if you think that the other party's evidence is weak, dapat maging happy kayo. Okay, with respect doon sa kanilang ABP po, well, optics yun, no? I hope lang yung paggawa ng ABP na yun hindi pera ng taong bayan ang ginamit, ha? Dapat personal nila yun. Kasi kung ilan ang millions na naman ginastos doon, for what? For that optics na yan. Pasok na sila. Hindi po ito wedding ceremony na kailangan po natin ng ABP. This is a serious matter for a proceedings that would, an impeachment proceeding to remove the second highest official in the land, no? So, after the pre-trial conference, na-notice ko, maraming press conference, nagsasalita sila, which I believe they should have that done. Bakit? Kasi, pending na po ang kaso, and sub judice po hindi ka dapat magsalita na mga bagay na ganyan. Kaya, ang hingi ko sana sa impeachment court, dapat may gag order na hindi na kayo magawa ng ganyang mga comments. Okay, now reading that comments, if you think that it is favorable to you, bakit kayo magreklamo? If the person is committing such mistakes, do not stop that person. O kung ang defense is not committing that mistake, pabayaan mo, you should be happy with that. But it appears, galit sila. Mayroon pang term na tunog lata, ano pa ba yun, wala daw basihan. But you have to remember, minsan naguguluhan ako, lalo nito kay Representative Rene Ko. Sinasabi niya tunog lata, at the same time, wala daw affirmative defense. Sometimes hindi ko maintindihan kung she understands what is affirmative defense, no? Ang affirmative defense po is actually parang admitting the offense charge, but they are saying that hypothetically admitting it should be dismissed because of certain factors, no? Lack of jurisdiction, blah, blah, blah. Yung affirmative defense is tantamount to motion to dismiss, no? Ang sabi dapat siguro, wala silang specific denial or specific defense, yan siguro, or negative defense, no? Yan po ang dapat na hinahanap nila. Now, whatever the defense that the defense team would do, kanila po yung prerogative. Huwag nila pakialaman. Pakialaman po nila ang ebidensya nila. Di ba? Kasi yung
maganda, ang dapat din harapin because ano po ang was the burden of proof, especially the prosecution, should be the one to prove it. It should not rely on the weakness of the evidence of the defense. Rather, it should rely on the strength of their evidence in order to convict or remove an impeachable official. Yan po ang basic because if you cannot prove, no, your case even in the middle of the trial may be dismissed even by way of demurred evidence that the defense would no longer present their own evidence dahil in the first place, why should we? Mahina naman ang ebidensya ninyo. So I think these are optics. So pinapangunahan naman nila yung mga tambayan in order to condition the mind, no, na ganito ang narrative. Which is, klaro naman na talagang hindi na sila dapat magsalita. Kaya sabi ko, natatawa nga ako You should concentrate on your evidence. Tingnan nyo kung meron ba kayong evidence. Baka natatakot kayo na you cannot prove the case. That is the reason why, ito, ngaw-ngaw ng ngaw-ngaw, doon naman sa likod ng microphone.
Pati yung hindi pagdalo ni
Alright,
Vice President
yun po, narinig natin na ang opinion ni Attorney Raymond Batu. Batu po. There is another one, a video clip, I think I can still share with you po. Ang statement made by former Supreme Court Justice po. Let's watch and listen to this po. Let's watch and listen to this. Sandali lang ito. 25 seconds.
As again, two-thirds will be required to convict. So in this particular case, two-thirds, the basis will be 24, not the existing 23. It should be 24. The Senate will need 16 to convict.
Okay.
In other words, since there are now 23, the vote of 7 would be enough for acquittal.
Alright, yun po. Yun ang statement made by former Supreme Court Chief. Supreme Court Chief si Hilario Davide. Alright, yun ang mga latest updates mayroon tayo tungkol sa issues dyan po sa Senado, dyan po sa Pilipinas. But before I'm going to conclude itong Saturday edition natin, let me share with you another news article coming from Philstar, legit newspaper ito sa Maynila. And ito po, leaders of the Catholic Church, listen carefully, leaders of the Catholic Church and other religious groups and the civil society organizations will hold another big rally at the EDSA People Power Monument sa June 28. Sa June 28 po. Sunday na yon. And in a continuation of the trillion peso march as they push for the accountability amid the corruption scandal in the country. June 28, trillion peso march po organized by the leaders of the Catholic Church. At the press conference, Catholic Bishops Conference of the Philippines or CBCP Inter-Religious Leaders Council for National Transformation lead convener and Kidapawan Bishop Colin Bagoforo said rally will dub the White Ribbon Movement March. Sabi na po, we will have a big rally this June 28, 2026. And we will do this at the People's Power Monument. It will be led by the Inter-Religious Leaders Council for National Transformation. We emphasize that this rally is therefore faith-based, faith-generated, and the product of the cement by the council formed through prayer, listening, and shared responsibility before God. He added that the rally is meant to, again, remind the government that Filipinos deserve a better future. So, yun po, mayroon na naman po tayo expected a big rally to be organized on June 28. June 28 po, no? So let's hope and pray that this rally will be a peaceful rally po, no? Peaceful rally, and the government will also listen to the bosses ng masa po, bosses ng masa. So, yon. I don't know if ang Iglesia ni Cristo will also be doing another rally po, no? Kasi ang Iglesia ni Cristo po, malaki din yun po when they did their rally before. So, let's see po if they will be joining also itong rally ng religious group natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. So, kung may panahon tayo po, especially those who are not happy with how the government is managing the country, kung may time kayo po, no? Please participate sa rally para at least ang boses ng masa will be louder. Will be louder po, no? Will be louder. So, of course, we will, or I will continue to advocate, it must be a peaceful rally po, rather than it will be chaotic, no? Chaotic. So, ibig sabihin, busy na naman ang mga police natin, police personnel natin pagdating sa mga rally-rally na yon po. So, yon ang latest updates na mayroon tayo dito po sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. And, kasi paano, I hope I managed to entertain you and give you ang, hindi naman siguro lahat, but ang mga hot issues lang po dyan sa Pilipinas. So, with this, once again, si Nico would like to say, thank you very much for making me a part of your day today, Saturday, June 20. Huwag natin kalimutan bukas, very important, or very significant day, celebration that we're going to celebrate tomorrow. And that is Father's Day. To all the fathers, I would like to extend my advance greetings. Happy Father's Day sa ating lahat. So, wag na natin kalimutan mga anak, no? Wag natin kalimutan ang tatay natin, no? Be it nasa heaven na sila o nandito pa rin sa mundo. Let us appreciate ang mga efforts that they did para sa atin. Happy Father's Day to each and everyone, all the fathers sa mundo. So with this, hanggang dito na lang. And again, I would like to say, enjoy kayo ang weekend natin, and make sure that this weekend will be a prosperous, problem-free weekend that we are having today and tomorrow. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye! I love you, and you take care. Ingat!